Hey everybody, what's going on? We are back with another video. So I have another project for you, and it's kind of like a project that can help you promote your business. So I want to show you what I'm going to do with this coffee mugs. So make sure that you are subscribed, click that bell so that you guys don't miss any more videos. And let's get it started. I have a coffee mug that we are going to do a project with on how you can promote your business. These are going to be so cool, so you do not want to miss this video. So let's get this started. So I wanted to show you guys, if you did not see the tie-dye video, please go back to the video before this one and click on it and watch the video on how I did a tie-dye. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up and show you how it's coming along. This is actually a memorial 30 ounce that I'm making, and it's turned out so beautiful. I love it. It's got some glitter to it. It's got tie-dye. It's got some blue. It's got some purples. And I've added 2 pictures requested, and I'm gonna add 2 sayings to this. But I just wanted to share with you guys how well it's turning out with even the pictures on it. I think this cup is going to be very special for the person who's getting it. And like I said, if you guys did not see how I made this, please go back and watch the video. All right, let's get this mug started, guys. All right, so first thing first, we want to make sure that we have the turner that is going to fit for this mug. You want to make sure that you have enough room for the handle to turn without bumping it. So my other turners may be a little shorter, and I don't want to use those. This one is pretty high. I don't know if you guys can see it, but let me turn it a little sideways. When it comes around, make sure you have enough clearance to where it's not going to tap on that. So I have it on the turner. I wanted to make sure that this was the turner I'm going to use. I have 10 turners, so I can choose from. And once you've established what turner you're going to use or where it will fit the best, we're going to go ahead and we're going to clean. And I do give mine a little sanding just to give it a little texture. I wipe it down with alcohol, cleaning it for the first process. We're going to be adding some glitter. I'm not spray painting this. I normally do, but I'm not worrying about it this time because it's not really required. It's already white. I'm just going to add some little texture to it by sanding it a light sand. Also, there's a sticker, which I have to do still, but there's a sticker on the bottom. Make sure that you use acetone and get all of that off because you want it to be completely clean. You don't want to leave that on there. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply our epoxy. I have mixed equal amount of A and B, and we're going to be using glitter Chimp's glitter. I have 2 different ones. Now this one is a UV, so when you take it out in the sun, it's going to turn a totally different color. It looks like it's white, and then when you put it in the sun, it's going to be a different color. So I'm going to leave that for the second portion of this video. So just to give you guys a heads up, this is going to be a 2-part video that I will be putting up. So make sure that you look for part 2 because this video is going to be too long for me to put on YouTube, so it will be a part 2 video. So now I'm just going to go ahead and apply my epoxy on my coffee mug. Make sure that you're applying the handle in the cracks everywhere because you want to make sure that your glitter is going to stick. And I kind of like to do a thick, not really thick, but kind of a thick to a medium amount of epoxy, only because I'm going to be doing chunky and I want it to stick really well. The other one is a fine glitter, and then one is a chunky. So you do want to make sure you get enough epoxy on it and make sure you cover it from top to bottom. Get your handle good and covered before you start applying your glitter. I went and got my parchment paper to put underneath so I can catch my glitter. I'm gonna start with the fine glitter, the UV, and I'm only gonna do like half of the cup, but you're gonna make sure that you're getting your handle, you're gonna make sure you're covering it pretty thorough before you start your bottom portion of the cup with your chunky glitter. So I'm just gonna keep on applying and kind of pound it off so that way your excess falls off. Now I did notice that I kept having like little gaps, but just keep going. Just keep filling it in until you feel like you have covered that cup and you can't see the actual cup anymore and it's all glittered. Now I know you guys can probably tell what the color is going to be in the UV because you can kind of see where it's turning. So now we're gonna go ahead and apply our chunky glitter, and you're gonna have to be very forceful and make sure that you get lots and lots and lots and lots of glitter on there because you don't want any gaps. So this actual glitter has chunky and fine mixed, so it's probably not going to be as hard. I just noticed that it was having a hard time coming out because I was using the smaller side because I wanted it to not just give me a lot of chunky, but a lot of the smaller pieces. So you're going to go ahead and make sure you do also the bottom portion of your handle. Make sure you're getting inside the handle too, because you could actually miss that part. And then you're going to do a little tapping, making sure you're getting any excess that falls off. Make sure you're getting your bottom really well. And then once you've applied all of your glitter and you feel like your cup is fully covered, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna take your finger and kind of tap down all the chunky glitter. You don't really have to do that with the fine glitter, but it's necessary with the chunky glitter because you don't want anything sticking up when you apply your epoxy, because you want everything to lay flat so you don't have to do a lot of sanding. It just saves you time. So just try to lay your chunky glitter as flat as you possibly can. You might have like one or two that do stick up and it dries like that. There's really not much you can do. You'll just have to either cut it off or sand it off later. So you see, I'm just taking my finger and going along the edges because you don't want it to be off of the edges of the cup. And then you're just gonna go ahead and let it turn on your turner. I usually let mine turn for about 24 hours because I have other projects going on, so I just let it completely dry overnight. All right, so I put everything back into my bottle, my chunky glitter. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back with my white fine glitter and I'm gonna do an ombre between the two. So it kind of blends those together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the white and I'm going to take a little bit of the chunky and kind of blend it. So here I was playing around. I have some pop sockets and then I had some extra epoxy, so I added this glitter that we used on the coffee mug. And I was making some pop sockets and I made a flip-flop. So if anybody puts orders in, this is usually what I give everybody. And I wanted to share with you guys what I do in between making videos and putting orders in. This is a cup that I made and it's for baseball. All right, so now we have let this completely dry. The glitter has been sprayed with my sealer, And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply our epoxy on top of the glitters to seal it completely. So everything that I have used to accomplish this coffee mug, it will be listed below. Click on the little tab, you'll see a little arrow, and you can click on that and it will give you a description of everything that I have used. But anyways, you're going to go ahead and you're going to apply that thoroughly on the whole coffee mug. Make sure that you go up and down just to make sure you're getting in between every little crevice of that glitter, especially the chunky glitter. And try to get as much as you can on the coffee mug. You may have drips and that's fine, but as long as it's covered thoroughly, that's all that matters. Make sure that you're getting your handle, the edges in between, on the bottom of your cup. Apply as much as epoxy as that cup will hold. So I think I believe I did a 30 ml of A and B epoxy, and I used every bit of it just to make sure that it had a good coat on it, because the less sanding I have to do, the better we are. So I hope you guys are enjoying this video so far, and remember that this is part 1 of 2. So this cup will completely dry and we will sand it down, and then we will get to the next stage of this cup. I know this seems like a process, but it's definitely going to be worth it to advertise for your business. Now it's heat gun time. Make sure that you apply your heat gun everywhere so that it nicely flows and it gets all those little bubbles out. All right, so I pulled this off the turner. I broke some nails. Not pulling this off, but anyways, gotta fix those. Let's point with this hand. Anyways, I pulled it off the turner. It looks so good. I love this glitter. It's so pretty. So the next step is, I'm going to go ahead and clean the rim up a little bit. It's nice to just keep up with it because look, you get a buildup on it. And we're going to do a little bit of sanding. And then, so before we get to our final step of what this cup is actually going to be, we want to do the prepping and whatever vinyl, whatever decal, whatever, because basically you're going to use this cup for advertising your business. So you're going to put your business logo on here, however you're wanting to show off your business. You're going to prep your cup, get your vinyl, your water slide, whatever you're choosing to put on your cup or coffee mug for your business advertisement. You want to do that before we get to our next step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean my rim. And that's a big piece, but it's coming off. A little bit of elbow, but it's coming off. And you're going to clean this just like you do your tumblers. You're just going to go around, get the edge cleaned, and it just makes it easier because you're going to end up adding your vinyl, your decal, your water slide, whatever you're going to do, and then you're going to be cleaning it again because every time you add epoxy, you're going to get some kind of little mess up here, but it just helps to keep it clean so you don't have a buildup because it gets kind of hard after it gets so, you know, thick. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this. And my cup is actually pretty smooth except for the edge on the bottom was a little rough. So this part right here is rough, and because it's chunky glitter too, so that's expected. And then there's like maybe just a little bit up here. This is all smooth right here. So I'm gonna take my sand block and I'm just gonna go around the rim, kind of smooth it out until you feel, I think my sand block is about wore out. But you're just gonna sand everywhere that you feel like there's a roughness. That way when you epoxy it, after you get all your vinyl and everything on there, that, you know, it's smooth, and hopefully you won't have to add any more epoxy to this cup. So I'm sure you guys are wondering, you know, what's going on? What are we doing with this cup? If you read the title, then it kind of gives you a hint, but until you actually see it done. All right, so on my handle, I have a little rough spot right there and right up here. So you could take a sand block, or you could take a little piece of sandpaper. I have the 220, and then you're just gonna do the same thing and just get in, like get up in there. Get up in there. I mean, it could be way worse considering it's glitter, chunky glitter, but it's not that bad actually. There's just a couple of spots. And I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes if it's too, like if there's a piece that it's just too popped out, I'll even heat this up and kind of cut it off even. And that helps too. Just a little trick that I've had to do, because like glitter, no matter if you push it down, if it, as it's turning, it can like lift back up. So now, if you have, sorry, my dog's barking. If you have a Dremel, you can always take your Dremel. I would probably go on a light, this is the light speed, and go just around the rim very lightly. If you have chunky glitter, which this top part is not really that chunky, so you just very lightly. So right here where the handle was a little thick, I only use this like if it's super, super, super thick. All right, so down here I'm definitely gonna use it. So what I do is I use this to get it all, you know, flat and smooth, and then I'll use my block to give it a different texture. Yeah, there's some little bit chunky glitter. Now once you have it all sand and all the little bumps taken care of, you're gonna have to get it all clean and smooth. Like the bottom of this cup, you want it smooth, you don't want it rough, or it's not gonna sit flat. So You want to make sure that your bottom sits really good, so when you sit it on the table, it's not wobbling or, you know, rocking back and forth. But you're going to go ahead and clean your cup really well with alcohol and before you start applying any of your decals. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're going to end this video. So don't forget to look for part 2. So this is the part 1, and we have sanded, we've cleaned it. Now we are going to start applying our decal. So make sure that you guys look for part 2 video. I want to thank everybody who tuned in and watched our video. Please give us some likes and subscribe, and make sure that you guys share your videos with someone else that might want to learn how to make these cups. I will see you guys on the next video. Have a great day. Bye.